Alright, this video is for John. He asked about some things to look over on these older New Holland balers. First thing I would look at is the stuff for feeder forks, which are right behind the pickup down in here. It's going to be hard for me to show these. You can maybe see them up in there. Make sure those are not bent. As you can see, my baler has been reinforced on the side. That was before I bought it. And 50 bales after I bought it, that stuffer feeder snapped in half. Now, New Holland wanted around $1,500 for that assembly. And I got lucky that Allstate's Ag, Downing, had one that they had on a lower baler that came in. So that saved me some dinero right there. But on the sledge rolls, see if I can show this from in here. Here's the top sledge roll. Now what you can do is grab onto this top one, if you're going to be able to see how much it turns before it stops. That's how much slop is in there. You can hear it banging and clanging. Mine needs the gears replaced bad. But it hasn't stopped on me yet, so I am trying to nurse it along as long as possible. So John, you do not have to actually open the end gate to check them. You can climb right on top and grab it and turn it from up here. But you can hear that banging and clanging. That is slopping all the gears. There's a gear on each one of those drums. Then there's an idler gear between the drums. And when they need to be replaced, they all need to be replaced. You don't just change one, because they are not the easiest to change. And as you can see, my baler is dirty. It is a working baler, it is not a showpiece. And yeah, it could stand to be cleaned out. But it got put away the other day because I was supposed to go bale again, and now we've had all this rain, so it is still dirty, but it has a bunch of custom work to do real quick here. But if you see these holes, that is how you get the bolts out of the bearings in the sledge rolls to get them out, and this is where it pivots. Now if I remember right, you can pull these out of each side, tip the whole thing right out and take it apart on the ground. I have never done it, so I can't tell you. As you can see, my new chain here is stretched and needs to be a link taken out of it and tightened, and it needs to be re-oiled, and that will get done before I bale tomorrow. But for today, we are spraying corn because I top dressed urea yesterday, and the corn is tall enough now that I can barely get through it with the tractor. So, spraying corn today, baling hay tomorrow. So when I hook back up to this, we'll pull it in front of the shop, kind of clean it, grease and oil it, be ready to rock and roll. That chain I'll probably shorten too. I need to see if I have a half link in stock. Because I do believe I need a half link in order to shorten it. Not a connector link, a half link, yes. But other than that, I don't really know what else to tell you to check before buying it. Obviously, it'd be nice if you could see it work to make sure that the twine or the net wrap, the actuators, and all of them work. But if they can hook power to the monitor, you should be able to cycle them by hand. If you put it in manual mode and tell it to extend, that should drop down for the net wrap. And then if you retract it, I can't remember, I don't think it'll go up on its own, because what happens is that drops down at the end and cuts the net wrap, and then when the end gate opens, it lifts that back up and locks it. But you should be able to run the actuator to see if that works, and then your actuator, if it's just a twine baler, you should be able to extend and retract the tubes. Yeah, other than that, As long as the sheet metal's not wore through on the inside. This baler has over 30,000 bales on it. It's getting wore, but it's been a dang good baler, so I hate to get rid of it because these new Hollands have a pretty foolproof system for their net wrap. It sucks that it's in the front. People say that, oh, it's a pain because it's higher, it's harder to load, but you can see it turning from the seat of the tractor, where everything else you're relying on sensors to tell you that there's an error or not. Sucks it has a short PTO shaft compared to the 700s and 7000 series. The newer, later models have a long PTO, so you can turn sharper with them. The other thing, those, I know I'm going to call them wing augers, but check those to make sure they're not shot. They get wore at the end, they get really sharp, and they don't want to push hay over anymore. These are newer, they've been replaced. Make sure that bearing is not bad. Other than that, I don't really know what else to tell you to look for. Just make sure it's all in one piece and not falling apart. It's easy to change the teeth on these. I need to get into a couple new bolts for the bands over there. They have disappeared since doing corn stalks last fall. But with those, you got to be careful when you put them back in, not to over tighten them because they strip out really easy. And then you got to get self tappers to put in there, or you got to try and fiddle fart around and get a nut on the bottom and a regular bolt. So other than that, I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah, anyhow, that's just a couple ways or a couple things to look at. That's how you can test them sledge rolls. I'm sure even when those gears are new, there's a little bit of slop, but you can see I can turn mine a couple inches each direction. You can hear them banging and clanging. So like mine, when you first start a bale, you can hear them clanging around, but as soon as you get hay in there, obviously they can't freewheel anymore, so you don't hear it. So mine's definitely due for them, but it still makes a good bale. It still eats hay, so we're going to keep it running there as long as we can. Hopefully we buy a new baler before we got to replace them. Anyways, hope that helps, John. Any more questions, just feel free to ask anytime. So, anybody else looking for or looking at a New Holland baler, that's some things you can check while you are looking before you purchase. Anyhow, hope this helps. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all later.